This is my third year serving on this important committee, but it's my first as the chair. So I want to take this opportunity to welcome you and to welcome the committee members. To my immediate left is the chair of Human Services Committee, Chairman Chu. Would you like to please introduce yourself?
All right, great. Well, thank you very much. My name is Kansen Chu. I'm a newly elected Assembly member representing Assembly District 25, which covered San Jose, Milpitas, Santa Clara, Newark, and south of Fremont.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to also thank the sergeants for maintaining order. I want to thank my staff, Robert McLaughlin, Irene Roma, and Esther Jimenez, as well as the minority staff, Mary Bellamy. Let's get right to it. As the newly appointed chair of the Assembly Committee on Aging and Long-Term Care, I intend to continue former chair her tradition of staunch advocacy in this policy area. I, too, see our aging society as potentially redefining the way we think about policy development. In the spirit of former chair Mariko Yamada, I want to make all of you feel comfortable. I want you to feel welcome. I want you to feel safe to express yourself openly and candidly, and to be confident that the sacrifices that you make to participate in this process will contribute and improve the lives of citizens throughout this vast state. California is more than just one of 50 states. We are poised at the edge of the Pacific Rim, which makes us a part of a dynamic economic generator that includes most of Asia, Latin America, and even Australia. As a matter of fact, we are the 7th largest economic
entity.
Yeah, I'll say entity in the world. And that's a state. We are a state. We are diverse people, having surpassed an era of dominant populations, and people who live here bring vast cultural experiences that they offer to hope to confront and overcome our most persistent challenges, and to stand confidently as an example of how diverse peoples can live shoulder to shoulder if we extend dignity, justice, and respect first. Age is only one way to describe ourselves, but today, sadly, and also not sadly, it will be what we focus upon. In California, over the next 17 years, each day, about 1,000 people will turn 65 plus. Longer lifespans, courtesy of healthcare advances and the dual impact of baby boomers, and the inward migration from foreign lands is fueling what I refer to as the silver tsunami. Regardless of what race one is or what your cultural heritage, there's one humbling fact, and that's most of us will have silver hair. The so-called silver tsunami, will crash against the shores of our surface systems, our economy, and our government in general. By 2030, almost 1 in 5 people living in California will be 65. By 2040, we will be way past 1 in 5 and closing in on 1 in 4. For some, age brings a chance to slow down and retire from your chosen profession. Unfortunately for others, it's a time of stress, anxiety, and poverty. Poverty amongst older people is especially pernicious because older people do not have the stamina to work a second job. Add to this California's steep cost of living, and the problem becomes more complex. Add to that an economic recession which left us all scrambling to find ways to piece together an existence, and the problems are compounded further. That's why we're here today, to learn about the challenges that poor senior Californians have endured for the past several years, and what we can do to reverse some of its startling trends that currently define California as the or one of the most economically unwelcome places for older persons to live. By many measures, California has the highest percentage and the highest number of older adults who are unable to make ends meet on a monthly basis. Food, housing, and health care are a focal point of today's witnesses. Though challenges extend to other parts of life as well. I would like to today invite a courageous senior, a Californian, to the witness table. Her name is Myrtle Mills. With Myrtle Mills is Rochelle Sherlock. They will be speaking from their own experiences. She will be speaking from her own experiences. And Myrtle, who is a contractor, will talk more about both and why they're here.
Can you give me 30 seconds?
Sure. Wait a minute, wait.
Tell them that please.
Okay. Before we go any further, I want to introduce my panel, as well as Mr. Canston Chu, and he will be saying a few words. But I wanted to have them seated here as they talk to us, as we talk to them. Let us start with Chad Mays, Mr. Chad Mays.
I'm Chad Mays. I represent the, I'm newly elected as well, represent the 42nd Assembly District. It's Riverside and San Bernardino County, otherwise known as the Inland Empire. The cities I represent are Yucaipa, Calamasa, Beaumont, and Banning, Hemet, and San Jacinto, Palm Springs, Rancho Mirage, Indian Wells, Palm Desert, and La Quinta, Yucca Valley, and 29 Palms. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you to both the chairs for convening this meeting. Tony Thurman from the 15th Assembly District, and I appreciate the subject matter for today. Thank you to all the speakers and the presenters. You know, I chair the Budget Subcommittee for Health and Human Services in the Assembly, and we've had an opportunity to have some discussion about some of these issues, in particular SSI and SSP. I want to thank Chair Brown, who's also my seatmate and the chair of our On-Time Caucus, for coming and talking about particular challenges that, you know, those in our communities are facing. It was particularly difficult, eye-opening, and disturbing to hear how many folks who spoke, who use SSI and SSP, who basically said that in many cases, after they paid their rent, they've got money for nothing else. And that I can't tell you how many of the speakers spoke to having to eat at the local food shelter. I believe that all Californians deserve better than that. And what we determined and saw in our Budget Subcommittee is that there's been no COLA for SSI and SSP for many years. And as costs rise, and it was very disturbing to hear that most of our counties, SSI and SSP recipients spend more than 50% of their benefit on rent, and that there are more than a dozen counties where individuals spend 100% of their benefit on rent. So clearly, we know that there's work to be done, and I want to submit to you, Madam Chair and Mr. Chair and the members of this subcommittee or joint committee that we in the Budget Subcommittee on Health and Human Services stand ready to work on the action steps on how we move forward and do better for all Californians. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Yes, thank you, Chair Brown and Chu. I'm a new elected member for the District 39, represent the San Fernando Valley. And it's an honor and humble to be here and really to support this service. And first experience from my personal level, I've been taking care of my mom for the last 16 years. And I see all the high need that we had to improve in our social service. So I'm here to be part of the team and learn more, and thank you for everyone to be here. It's a pleasure.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. I'm Assemblymember Mark Levine. I represent the 10th Assembly District, Marin, and Southern Sonoma County. and in the Committee on Aging and Long-Term Care. I'm the old guy up here. I was on this committee the past 2 years along with our chair, Ms. Brown, and I want to welcome all of the new members. So thank you. Thanks everyone for being here today.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Chairwoman Brown and Chairman Chu. My name is David Hadley. I represent the 66th Assembly District, which is the South Bay of Los Angeles. The largest city in my district is Torrance. I am pleased to be the Vice Chairman of the Committee on Aging and Long-Term Care, and I'm here as well to learn. We have a lot of challenges in this state, and it's true for the population at large. California has the highest poverty rate in the country, and in much of the state we have the least affordable housing in the country. So this is not a problem unique to our senior citizens, but obviously our seniors have some special challenges, some of which the Chairwoman already highlighted, other similar challenges around transportation, and simply how to get to the doctor, in addition to paying your rent and having enough left over to make the rest of your monthly expenses. So I look forward to working with both committees and with the Chairwoman here. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Chair. And the other chairs in the room, there are several of you. I am Devin Mathis. I represent the 26th District, which is Tulare County, all of Inyo County, and the Kern River Valley, all the lakefront of Kern County. I'm also the Vice Chair of the Veterans Committee. It's a privilege to hear you all come and make your way here to speak and to address the issues. I'd like to echo what Madam Chair Brown said with be open, be precise, let us know, shine light onto the issues that you all struggle with. That way they can be seen and be heard, so we know how and what ways we can go about helping you all. Thank you.
Well, thank you again. Thank you very much, Madam Chair, for agreeing to hold this hearing jointly with the Assembly Human Services Committee. Definitely also wanted to thank all the audiences and the panelists to be here providing testimony or listening to the testimony on this very important issues, so we can identify the drivers of senior poverty and identify the tools that we have at our disposal to combat it. I also wanted to introduce our Human Services Committee Chief Consultant, Maisha Jackson, over there at the corner of the table. And I just wanted to also let the chair know that the new freshman class has a 3 o'clock mandatory training. So I don't know how many of us will have to leave around 3. So I just wanted to excuse myself.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chu. We will miss you as you go to your training, but as you go, we know that it's mandatory, and I hope everyone in the room understands. We will have a great report on what happened here today as you're going to your meeting. And thank you, Maisha, for being here. I'm sorry I overlooked you earlier, but thank you so much. And back to our, we call it a case profile. So, Rochelle, would you please introduce Ms. Mills for me?
Sure. Good afternoon. My name is Rochelle Sherlock, and I'm consultant to the Senior Coalition of Solano County. It's an advisory body to the Board of Supervisors. And recently, one of our purpose areas is to identify issues concerning seniors and raise awareness and then advocate for some changes. We identified senior poverty as a key issue, and there's a couple things that I just want to say to that end. First of all, I hope that you had a chance to see the video that was developed by the National Senior Citizens Law Center. Not only does it have Ms. Myrtle Mills here and Sandy Costa, who will be speaking to you later, it has two other seniors. It's a very powerful, it's 5 minutes of your time, and you won't regret it, 5 minutes of your time. One of the big challenges, I know you're going to get a lot in the statistics, and Chairperson Brown covered a lot of the stats regarding seniors, but one of the big challenges that I would personally like to let you know about before I introduce Ms. Mills is the fact that seniors have been marginalized. They are a disenfranchised group whose voice is not valued or listened to. So much so that even to get to the video that you'll all promise me you're going to watch it, right? Okay. All right. I'm going to call your office and make sure you watched it. So much so that it takes an incredible amount of courage for Ms. Mills to be here as well as Sandy Costa to be here, and it took an incredible amount of courage for those four women to be on that video. It takes a lot of risk because there's fear. They've been marginalized. Ageism is alive and well. And so when they begin to speak about the issues around not only being a senior and not feeling like you're respected or having an opportunity for dignity, but that you're a senior living in poverty and you're blamed for your poverty, because, Chairman Chu, there are many factors, myriad factors, and we can no longer blame somebody who's living in poverty. We have to think differently about that. So with that, what I would like to do is Ms. Mills, I've known her for a number of years, and she's an amazing woman, and she's here to tell a little bit about her story and her experience. And so I'll just turn it over to Myrtle.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Chairman Brown and the rest of the committee. My name is Myrtle Mills. I'm 75. I have 3 children, 7 grandchildren. I got hurt on my job at Travis Air Force Base and was forced to go on disability. And I was forced to use all of my savings, all of your vacation time before they started my payment for the disability. And if it wasn't for my children, I would be homeless, because right now my disability check is not enough to pay for a senior place. There are so many people out there. I love people. I travel. I take them to the doctor. These are the people who help me to see who I am and to see who this country is. We need to look at these people not as people not caring, because they all care. They just cannot do any better. And for people to live in some of the senior housing that they have for them, it's wrong. We as a country need to do better. We can do better. If San Francisco can send people out to check on the homeless people and count them, why can't we send people out to check on the seniors? They need medicine, they need food, they need transportation, but nobody's doing anything. With the coalition, I have seen some changes, but there's so many more changes that we need to do. We need to, first of all, I want to say that the seniors will help you do your job better if you take the time to listen to us. You need to listen to what we have to say and get off of your agenda and try to understand our agenda, because we have something still to offer. We have a lot to offer. I wasn't going to come to this because I get so discouraged sometimes. And I told Rochelle I was going to call her and say, I'm not going to that. But the other 2 ladies were sick, so I just couldn't let her down, because she's just a hard worker, and she does so many things to help us. But please go in your different communities and listen to your people. They don't want to be where they're at. They want to have food, decent food to eat by the time they pay the rent, by the time they take a cab to go to the doctor, by the time they take a cab to go to the grocery store. There's very little money. Where I stand today, I am not even entitled to food stamps, and my disability check is less than $800. Like I say, if it wasn't for my children, and I'm able to go out and speak on behalf of those who can't speak. So go in your communities and you talk to these people and leave your agenda at home and listen to what they have to say, please. And one other thing, and I'm going to stop. Miss Brown, where are you from?
Original? I'm sorry. I'm from San Bernardino, California.
Okay. I know you.
Oh.
I was reading this, and I says, I know that name. Then things started coming back because I lived in Rialto for over 30 years.
Oh.
My husband is Lorenzo Mills.
Oh, I know your husband.
And I said to her, I know this lady. Then it comes back that you got elected to come here. Congratulations, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, that's all I have to say. But I'm going to find out from Rochelle how many of you guys listened to the video and how many of you guys listened to what the people have to say, because they need their medicine and they need different food. They don't need to go to the emergency. We need little resources where they can go. So, because the emergency rooms are expensive, so they need little resources where they can go and get help and keep them off. So many people today are diabetics. You know, they need proper food. You know, and they need the medicine. You know, to keep them out of the emergency rooms. So, Dave, Devon, I'll be looking at all of you guys to help the seniors, please. Thank you.
Ms. Mills, thank you so much. Are there any questions or any statements you'd like to make, members?
Yeah. I just want to share with you, since I'm being elected, I've been having meetings monthly with my seniors in my area, and I look forward to put a plan to work with my district. But I'm happy to share with the other members.
Yeah, good. That's good.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Mills, for what you had to say. I'm not from Rialto or San Bernardino, but I want you to know this, that what you said is deeply appreciated because you're giving voice directly, and to me that's better than what the video can show. I will watch the video. But what you said is so compelling, and sometimes it's hard to give examples that make it really clear to us, and you made it perfectly clear, the urgency of what we need to do, and we are listening to you. We do need your help. We accept your help. Thank you for breaking it down for us in a way that we can be very clear that we need to take action to support our Californians, and I appreciate you for what you shared today. Thank you.
Are there any other? Yes, go ahead, Deb. Mr. Mathis.
Mrs. Mills, you're talking about the need for doctors and prescriptions and all of that, and I couldn't agree with you more. I'm just curious as to what are your thoughts with like telecare and those things with new technologies moving forward, where you can talk to a doctor face-to-face over your computer or your phone.
But, you know, all seniors they don't have that capability, right? And then when they do have health care, there's a copay for this, there's a copay for that, there's a copay for this, and so there's no money. I would like to see facilities set up in the community where doctors could come and, you know, check the people, check their blood sugars and things like that. And I think the medicine, when you get a certain age, should be on a certain scale. I think it should, I mean, you know, you're making $10,000 a month, and this person is living on $800 a month. This $800 a month person shouldn't have to pay the same as the $800. You understand what I'm trying to say?
I do, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because there's a lot of talk about it, and I deal with it with the veterans populations tremendously. Is a huge issue we have.
Yes, we do.
That is on a broad spectrum. I myself am 100% disabled through the VA, and I also have children with different disabilities. So I ask because, as you said, you know, we need to pick your brains more and see where you folks are at.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. And I'm not from San Bernardino anymore. I'm from Vallejo, California.
Any other questions or any other comments for Ms. Mills? Okay. Thank you so much for coming. I want to thank you for your testimony. It's courageous, and thank you for coming out today. I think we heard you loud and clear, especially the person that holds the purse strings, the chair of the Budget Committee. Okay. You know, we need to, she put a face on the problem, but now we need to have some other information. We need to define the problem. And Kevin Prendeville, Executive Director, Justice and Aging, Gabriela Sandoval, Director of Research and Chief Economic Security Officer, Insight Center for Community Economic Development, will be here next.